Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, PsychoticKingAJ would like to bring to you today's episode of Versus. If you guys don't know what Versus is, it's when we take an original movie and the remake of the movie, pit them up against each other, see which one's better, or, talk about the great points. One of two things usually happens. Either one movie's clearly better than the other, or both movies have staying power and watchability. That being said, guys, today's video is on House on Haunted Hill. So, I think that's enough said there. Let's jump right into it. Okay, guys, so the original House on Haunted Hill came out in 1959. Yes, that is a long time ago. This movie is black and white, and it stars our hero of the night, Vincent Price, with the also starring Carol Omar and Richard Long. The movie, the remake, however, came out in 1999, 40 years later, starring Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, and Taye Diggs. The plots of both these movies, beginning-wise, is very similar. What it comes down to is a money reward is offered to 5 guests who are willing to spend the night in the house and survive till dawn, with the remainder of said money being split against whoever survives. So, let's talk about the original first. Vincent's character finds the house and he invites all these guests to a party for his wife. If they stay the night and survive the night, they get $10,000. In the remake, Jeffrey's wife, who's played by Famke, she finds the house on a newscast. So she gets it rented. She has a guest list that ends up being shredded, and one of the biggest differences, it's $1 million instead of 10,000, whatever. So, characters. The original character list is the character list between the original and the remake is quite similar. Although the names and characters do change, the overall personality and the relationships they have with each other and that sort of thing stays the same. So, that being said, I mean, you have Vincent and Jeffrey are the mainstay, the head guy. His wife, their relationship isn't great. I'm not going to get into a bunch of detail because I don't want to blow away major plot lines for you guys. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the characteristics, the storyline, it plays out very similar. So let's jump into technical. Well, I mean, what do you guys want to hear from me? That the 1999 version's way better because it's called... No. Technically speaking, let's drop it back to the 1959 original movie. This movie has amazing graphics. The film looks beautiful where it's 2018. That's 60 odd years almost of just... It's black and white, but it's beautiful. It looks amazing. It holds up to today's standard. There's parts in it where you're going to think, oh, that's cheesy. But there's a reason why. So, that being said, the original is hella advanced for coming out in the 50s. Well, the remake, on the other hand, came out in 1999. A lot of the movies that came out at that time were filmed, they were starting to film with different types of cameras. There was a lot of changing, and the movie just, compared to other late 90s movies, it feels stale, technically speaking. just the filming wise, it feels stale. So, I mean, for technical aspects, I have to give a point to the original for being so advanced and feeling so crisp, so clean, to the remake that it just fell stale. So there are some kind of cool Easter eggs between these two movies that I'm just going to talk about real quickly. One of them being, of course, in the remake, the name of the character that Jeffrey Rush plays is Stephen Price, which was a hit back to the original, of course, which starred Vincent Price. But, little unknown fact, everyone talks about how much Jeffrey Rush looks like Vincent Price, and that was never supposed to happen. Jeffrey Rush was actually trying to look more like the director of the remake movie, and ended up coming out looking so much like Vincent Price that the director just wanted to keep it like that. Of course, Jeffrey Rush, we know, is his probably my favorite role he plays, other than like this, is Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean. I know he's had tons of other roles, but like, so you can just imagine how that and that go together to make him how he looks. That being said, other things about this movie, the comparison-wise, and this is one of the biggest problems with this movie, is comparison-wise, the movies are very similar up until the original movie ends and the remake continues on. So they are quite similar, and both movies are pretty good. The last 15 minutes of the remake is really what separates them. And with that being said, it happens so much. I've talked about it so much before where it's, you know, these directors do something at the last little bit to try and spice up the movie, and it really turns out bad for them. Sadly, I think if the remake would have stayed more close to the original bounds of House on Haunted Hill, it would have made for a way better movie. Critically, the remake did not do well. A lot of critics did not like it, and I think that was part of the problem and the reason why. In my honest opinion, guys, the original, if you've never seen the original House on Haunted Hill starring Vincent Price, go watch it. It is one of the most fantastic movies of all time. It's done so perfectly. Vincent Price's acting, Carol's acting, everyone's acting in that movie is so on point. Of course, you take it back to when they didn't really have the advancements in technology and stuff, and they really had to do things on their own and make the suspense. The characters had to make the suspense. These guys knew what they were doing. When it comes to the remake, if you're a big fan of horror movies, you've probably seen this one down the line. If you haven't, you know, and you can't think of something to watch, go watch it. You might like it, but that being said, guys, definitely, even if you're not a fan of horror movies, even if you're not a fan of any scary, suspenseful movies, go watch the original House on Haunted Hill. You will not be disappointed. Alright, guys, that's enough babbling from me. It's time to end this video. The first thing we're going to do is say, hey, right down there's this button. It says subscribe on it. You should probably hit that button because I've got a lot of content that's coming up for you guys. And it's going to be great. And you're going to miss it. Also, once you hit that subscribe button, a little bell will appear. Make sure you hit that bell so that you know when my content's coming out and when I'm live streaming. That being said, guys, it's always great to follow me on social media. Facebook, PsychoticKingAJ, Twitter, @KingPsychotic. Make sure you follow me on social media so you can get updates. And hey, you can chat with me. Always a bonus. That being said, and talking about live streams, guys, I live stream here on YouTube and over on Twitch. My Twitch handle is twitch.tv/PsychoticKingAJ. Links in the description below. And you guys, you have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time. That's me, PsychoticKingAJ, and I'm out.